Hi everyone, welcome to Faith Lifts. I'm Miriam, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you some hacks, tips, and tricks to help you save money, time, and a little frustration. Before we get started, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. All right, let's get started. Okay, so if you're like me, you have a little teeny tiny sink and very little counter space to do your hair and makeup. And while makeup mats work great for travel, which I do use them for, they tend to sink down in the middle the more stuff you put in there, so that kind of irritates me. Enter the cutting board. That's right. Right out of your kitchen, an old cutting board works great to cover up that sinkhole. You can put all of your makeup on top of it, hair products. It stays nice and flat, so you don't have to worry anymore about where to put your makeup while you are getting ready for work. Okay, so for the next trick, if you love wearing these really pretty neck dresses during the summer, but you hate wearing a strapless bra, I always think that if I wear a little sports bra, bralette type of bra, that it's gonna hide, but it never does. So for the next trick, what we're gonna do is you're either gonna take a rubber band or a hair tie. You could use a piece of string that you might have lying around the house. You are gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut this rubber band. So I'm still using this bralette. It's a racer back bralette. And I'm gonna take these straps kind of high and just use this rubber band to basically tie these two parts of the strap together. I'm just gonna tie this in a knot. And that is going to bring those together. It brings the one in the back closer together. And now your bra straps are hidden with little to none showing. And you don't have to wear a strapless bra, so you still have the support that you need of a bra without showing those straps. The one thing that I do have to tell you is whatever you use to tie this, you're gonna have to cut it off. You'll have a hard time trying to untie it. So definitely make sure that you're gonna be wearing it till the end of the day, then you get back home and can just cut the rubber band off. Next up, don't you just hate when you have a cute little outfit and you go ahead and buckle your belt and then you just have this hanging out all night. Looks ridiculous. There's no hook here to put it into, so it's just hanging down. Okay, so what you're going to do is take a hair tie or a rubber band, as long as it's about the same color as your belt, and you're just gonna wrap it around a few times. Slide it down. And then your flappy part that hangs over is going to loop right into the hair tie. And you can slide it out to make sure that it's in the right spot. And now your belt looks as it should. Okay, so next up is to color your eyebrows. I personally hate filling in my eyebrows when I do my makeup. It takes a little bit of extra time, and I'm all about saving time when I'm getting ready in the morning. So what I do is every 2 weeks or so, I color my eyebrows with the same formula that I color my hair with. So just a reminder that I am a licensed cosmetologist, so I have training and a license to do this. But that doesn't mean you can't do it. You just have to be very careful. Make sure that you follow manufacturer's instructions if you're using something that you bought from the store to color your hair. I recommend using the same color that you use for your hair on your eyebrows. If you don't want to do it at home and you normally do get your hair colored by a professional, then just talk to your stylist about what they would recommend to color your eyebrows. What I normally do is I've got my formula right here, all mixed up and ready to go. And then I have some Q-tips, and I'm just gonna take my Q-tips and dip them into the formula here. Boop, 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 boop. Have a little bit on there, not a ton. I know it looks like a lot, but it's really not. And then I'm just going in and going over my eyebrow area. Now, you don't want to get too outside the lines. You're not trying to like make your eyebrow look bigger, because that's gonna be really obvious and it's not gonna look right. So to start off, I'm just going to go ahead and do both eyebrows. And I have a really light touch while I'm doing this. You can't be too heavy-handed or else you're just gonna have a blob of color in an area that you don't want it. And you could also potentially get color in your eye. So again, just be really, really careful if this is something that you decide to do at home. Okay, so I noticed I have a little mess right here. So I just take the clean side of the Q-tip and just go in and wipe that off. And so far this looks perfect. Like I have enough on there. The shape looks right. So what I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna come back in here in about 5 minutes and I'm gonna look and see how it looks at that point, because if I did go outside the lines, it doesn't always show right away. So I'll come back in 5 minutes and I'll be able to see more of how it's gonna look towards the end. So whatever you do, you're gonna process it for as long as the manufacturer's instructions are. I do mine for 35 minutes. That's how long my product is supposed to stay on. So in the meantime, you can just run around, do some chores, drink some coffee, read a book, whatever your heart desires. I'll be back in 35 minutes to show you the results. Okay, so it's been 35 minutes since I first applied the color onto my eyebrows, and it's time to wipe it off. So what I normally do is just get 2 cotton balls, just wet them, squeeze them out, and then just go in and just kind of rub back and forth like that. I don't put soap on it or anything because I typically get in the shower right after I do this. So I generally will do this right before my shower, and that way when I'm in the shower and I wash my face, I'm washing the whatever's left of color that doesn't belong there. So as you can see, my eyebrows look nice and pronounced. I love this color. You might notice that they're a little kind of when you first do them, but once you put your makeup on, it kind of blends them in so they don't look so loud. So I hope you enjoyed this tip, and let's move on to the next one. Okay, so the next tip is going to save you time when you are applying your concealer. So typically I would put it on a couple dots, then just use my finger to set it in there, and then use my setting spray also on my finger. So I generally will spray a couple squirts on my hand here, and then just go back in over my concealer that I just put on and just kind of dab, dab, dab like that, and then use my setting powder. However, when I'm in a hurry, instead of dabbing it with my finger, I'm going to take my mini beauty blender, spray the beauty blender with the setting spray a few times, and then use that to apply it or to let it sink in there. And this is a time saver because now I don't have to do that extra step with the setting spray. I am applying it and applying the setting spray at the same time. So once that's all done, you can go in with your setting powder and voila, done with that step. Okay, next up has to do with your mascara. Have you ever been getting ready to do your mascara and you realize that you meant to buy a new one and you forgot? So now you're stuck using this mascara that's super old. It gets clumpy, it doesn't look great. So I'm going to teach you how to fix those clumps. I do have to say that this is a little bit dangerous, so at your own discretion, do this. If you don't feel comfortable doing it, then by all means, please don't. Yeah, also, if you have a shaky hand, then I definitely don't recommend doing this. So once you get your mascara on, and I just do one eye at a time because you want to do this while it's still wet. And I'm going to take a safety pin now, and I'm going to go in and basically just in between the lashes that are clumpy, I'm just putting the pin just above the base of my lash line. Again, this is really can be very dangerous, so take your time. And you're just going, I'm doing it a lot right now. Typically it doesn't require that much, but I'm just doing it to show you. But you're just gonna go in between the pieces that are kind of clumped together, and this just helps to separate them so that it doesn't look like such a hot mess. Okay, so the next tip is to shave your eyebrows. I know that sounds crazy, but it can really be helpful if you just haven't had a chance to make it to the salon to get your eyebrows waxed, or you just want to try to maybe start doing them on your own, but tweezing is too painful. I started doing this because every time I waxed my eyebrows, I ended up getting burnt. My skin just started getting really sensitive. So I decided to start doing this instead. I'm just using the Touch and Brow razor, which are actually made for this. I picked these up at Sally's for I think $10. I'll definitely link them down in the comments. So once you take the little casing off, obviously you have to take the casing off. These are really pretty safe to use. They have a guard on them. I think you can tell there. So it's not like a straight blade. It has a little guard on there. And you're just gonna kind of go up top just a little bit and come down a little. I'm not real hairy up there, so I just do a tiny bit here. And then you want to just pull this and go the opposite direction with the razor. And you'll just keep doing that until it looks to your satisfaction. Now, I don't recommend doing this if you haven't had your eyebrows done in like months, because you're not gonna still have your shape that you like. This is really just for if it's been 2-3 weeks and you're trying to get in and you can't, or you're in a hurry and you have to be somewhere. The other thing is that this isn't gonna last as long as getting them waxed or tweezing. So it's just kind of a good in-between step to do if you need them to be shaped for an event or something. All right. Are you tired of your extensions lying around everywhere? And when you try to put them somewhere, they never fit? Enter skirt hangers and an old pillowcase. You can use skirt hangers to organize your extensions neatly, hang them in your closet that way. If you want, you can even use an old pillowcase. I've just cut a hole out of the top of this. Then I'm going to just slide my hand in there. That way I know where that hole is. I'm gonna take my extensions, stick the hanger right through that hole, and pull that pillowcase right down. This is a great way to keep them protected in your closet, or if you're going on a road trip, you can hang them on the hanger in the car, and that you don't have to worry about them getting all mangled and messed up in your suitcase.